Today I am doing half olive oil and half coconut oil. I have measured my 20 ounces of coconut oil and 20 ounces of olive oil on my kitchen scale, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You can use any container. Just put it on there and then clear it out. Put your ingredients in and pour it into your crock pot and let it melt. I have it on high right now, but I can adjust it to low if I feel like it's too hot. I'm going to let that melt down as I go over a few things for you. I have safety goggles that I'll be putting on whenever I mix my potassium hydroxide and distilled water in these glass ball containers or mason jars. I have my rubber gloves because you don't want it to touch your skin. I also have distilled vinegar, so if I spill anything, I can clean it up real fast with that to neutralize it. So I'm going to show you how to lay this out. But I need to put on my safety gear first, so I will continue in a minute. Okay, I've got my safety gear on. And also I want to talk about ventilation. If you can mix this outside, that would be great, but if you can't, you can put a fan in a window and just have it blowing away from you so that you're not inhaling any of the fumes. Turn my scale on, and I just use a plate, zero it out, and I will be doing about 9.35 ounces of the potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide is for liquid soaps and sodium hydroxide is for the hard soaps. So you'll just measure this out. About 9.35. I'm just going to set this over here, and then I'm going to split between two jars, 16 ounces in each jar of distilled water. And you want to do everything by weight. So this is going to be a pound. Okay, I have the plate bent on either side so that it has a small opening, and I'm just using an old wooden spatula. You could use a wooden spoon, and I'm going to split this up halfway, half in here and half in here, and just kind of guide it in there. Just make sure your fan is on and that you're not able to inhale anything. It does get very, very hot, so don't touch this with your bare hands. It heats up very fast. And I have these labeled with lye on it so that I don't use it for anything else. And you're just going to slowly stir. And it's going to dissolve. And then when I'm done, I just pour vinegar on the wooden part and just let it sit to the side. And you can mix this outside and then bring it back in if you want to. Okay, have your stick blender in one hand. You can pour the mixture. You do not have to wait for it to cool. And you're just going to stick blend As you pour it in, make sure you have your safety goggles on. Stick blend. It's going to start to thicken. Okay, I have been stick blending off and on for about 15 minutes. I'll just kind of go around for a few minutes at a time. And you can see it's getting thicker. So it's going to go through like a tappy stage. And then eventually you will not have to stick with it anymore. I can probably stop right now. And then move to the wooden spoon. And I have it on high right now, so I'm just going to make sure that I see how thick that is. I'm just going to shake all that off. And then go to my wooden spoon. So I might just put it on low and then cover it and then check it every 10 minutes or so and stir it because you don't want it to burn. Put it on low and then I will cover it and check it every 10-15 minutes and start. It's getting really thick. Just going to give it a stir, especially from the edges. I'm just going to let this cook down, and it's going to end up being a really translucent paste that's really, really thick, almost like it would look like honey at the very bottom as it's been sitting for a while, like a raw honey. I can check it again, 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe I'll wait a little bit longer because I have it on low. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes and I'm checking again to see how much it has changed. This is where you need a real sturdy spoon. Maybe you could run to a garage sale or something and find an old wooden spoon. Not a flimsy spoon because it will probably break. But just try to keep this pulled from the side and turned over into the middle. And it's going to get thicker and it's going to start turning clear. Have it on low because it can burn. I'll cover it again and check it in another 15 minutes. Okay, it's been another 20 minutes or so, and just going to stir it. Just turn it over. It's really hard to stir. You're basically just flipping it over and punching it down. Just make sure you get the sides rotated, and then I just punch it down like this and then cover it again. And just keep doing this every 20 to 30 minutes now and make sure it doesn't burn. I like to just punch it down like this, and then you'll see it start to crystallize or turn clear, kind of like that honey look. And I'll show you that whenever I start to see it. Starting to get a little translucent. Just gonna flip it over and then punch it down. Okay, you can see that it is becoming more translucent. So I'm just going to keep periodically turning it over and wait for it to become really translucent. And I'll show you what that looks like too. Okay, it's starting to look translucent, like that honey at the bottom of the jar. I'm just gonna keep stirring it, and then you can do a test to see the translucency, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'll get this stirred up and then grab some paper to show you the test that you can do. Okay, we're going to do the test to see if it is ready, and you should be able to see through it on some paper. Just make sure you don't burn yourself. See how you can see through that? Add a little bit more. And it's transparent. Okay, last step is I have about 8 cups of boiling water. I just use my electric tea kettle, and I'm going to pour it over the paste. Just go real slow. And I may add another cup of water, but I can leave it like this and always add it later. Okay, so I'm going to just take this off and let it sit in the water. And then you turn it off, cover it, and leave it alone overnight, and we'll check it in the morning.